Two of the throws for the end zone. Touchdown. Parker. Picked off by Xavier Howard. Tagovailoa trying to pick up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown.
That's hard work. What is good, Finn Nation? What is good? It's your boy Reason, and we're back here for another one. And you know it's a big show tonight. We got the unveiling of my running back big board. A lot of work went into this one. It's I hope you guys enjoy what I'm going to be putting forward. Shout out to everyone who's already showing love, showing up, and showing out in the comments, man. I haven't done one of this in a while, so I wanted to do it. Shout out to Kieran, K all day, Yawa, Marino's Goat, El Palk, Elijah Scott, Omar, Steven, Jeremiah Kelly, Jason, Barry Bailey, Ricky Robinson, Robert Wilcox. Shout out to Larry, Brian, Red Comet, Ronnie, Nico, Seth, Timothy, No Name, Finns, Dolphin, Don. Shout out to Flip, 17 Uniman, and man, hope you're doing well. Shout out to Cody Graham, Scotty Joe, Brandon, Chef Jew, how you doing? Cap, Drew Boo, how's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone is having themselves a decent Wednesday night. And I hope everyone, it's hump day, man. Happy hump day. We're halfway through the week, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope everyone is having a good day, or has had a good day thus far. So hopefully I can be that cherry on top. Shout out to Alec and your boy Mike. How you doing? I don't know if I shouted you out, Timothy, but how you doing? What up, Woodson? How you doing too? So yeah, guys, I'm gonna give about 20 or so minutes for people to funnel in right now. What up, Jeff? How you doing? To funnel in, and until then we'll go over a few things. So I think there's going to be some controversy on my big board, because I already had a couple patrons hit me up and ask me, oh, you got this guy there, oh, you got that guy there. The problem was, I realized, how do I put this properly? It's not that this class is deep, it's that there's a lot of mid-tier guys that are like neck and neck. So you just gotta like kind of, what up, Samuel? You got to kind of figure out who you favor over other people, who you project. A lot of projections. Once you get outside of the top 5, I would say there's a lot of projections here. So what up, last name Bird? How you doing? So I tried to project as best I could. Looking for a specific back these guys are looking for. How are you doing, Rudy? The one thing I will say though is, man, no more copyright claims, YouTube. You can't get me now that your boy has opened the vault of all 22. It used to be where I was telling Rhino when I was talking to him earlier, I used to, like, for 2020 at least, have 1 or 2 or 3 maybe all 22 videos on most of the prospects. Now I'm up I got at least 6 to 8 on guys. So I'm actually swimming in a plethora of all 22 right now. It's beautiful. How you doing, Todd? How you doing, Keith? And I will say this. My 1 and 2 guys, look at them as 1A and 1B. Do not look at them as 1 and 2. Shout out to Justin. How you doing? Look at them as that. Don't like get caught up in the numbers of where they are with 1 and 2. I will say this. They're definitely ahead of 3. And they are ahead of a 4, but they're ahead of 4 for a certain reason, which I'll get into once we break it down. So yeah, man, we'll get into that. We'll give it about another 15 minutes or so for people to funnel in here, and then we'll hop right into it. Guys, if you are new here, go ahead, pound that like button, subscribe if you're new here, show the love. You know what I mean? Show the love, baby. Like and subscribe if you haven't, man. So, and if you would like to donate you can donate through paypal.me/Finside, or you can also use the super chat. If you'd like to become a Patreon, remember to become a mod, you have to be a Patreon. Only certain people outside of the Patreon have that privilege. So if you'd like to become a mod of this channel, you must join the Patreon. And there's also perks, man. Guys, use your perks. You know, you have the right to give me show topics and et cetera, et cetera. So go use that, man. Go use that to your best of your ability. I encourage you to use that, because that's what it's there for. You know what I mean? You guys got perks. And like I keep saying, expect in May for more private videos that'll be members only, and that will be Patreon only. Those will be coming to those will be coming more in May when things slow down a tad, just because it's super, super busy right now, the way things are. So, all right. What I want to do though is I do want to shout out all the Patreons and the members of this channel, because you guys are the ones that help fund this whole operation, right? Y'all are what keep the wheels churning, or since we're in running back mode, the legs driving. So I do want to shout out each and every one of you, because you guys show so much support. And the fact you guys are willing to open up your pocketbook for a guy like me that does what he does, man, that's an absolute blessing. And I love each and every one of you for doing it. All right, so let's shout out the Patreons, because I mean there's quite a few of you, man, and I love all of y'all. So Rhino Sith, Fake Spike 94, KL Day, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Slim Pickens, Ricketic, Big Time, Red Dino, Marino's Goat, your boy Trev, Josh, Jazz 803, Martin, Zo Vegas, Cap for Life, the Arkham Elf, Irving, Drew Boo, The Show, Jawar Thompson, Jeff Jackson, Mighty Dolphin, Ben Glassford, Andre Villarreal, Cody, J Love T, Todd Labruto, the Enigmatic One, Chalk Vanilla Straw, Georgie Boy, Don Wayne, Florida born, Kentucky grown, Michael Rodriguez, Dennis Klassen, Sharif, Soto, and Philip Leduc. And guys, my big board was posted earlier today for them to all see it before I went live. So again, another perk. You guys kind of get, the heads up on content that's coming in regards to this stuff. Shout out to every member that has joined. If you like the badges you're seeing next to people's names or the emojis they're able to use, you got to become a member. There's 3 different levels you can join. So shout out to everyone: Damian Deese, your boy Trev, MF Fins fan, Ricketic, Greg Egg, Irving, KL Day, Seth, Drew Boo, shout out to you, homie. Rhino Sit, Twizzle, Law 10442, Derek, Timothy, Yawa, Bruce One, Foxing Around, Michael Vowell, Timothy Spalenza, sorry if I butchered your last name, Don Wayne, Nico, Mighty Dolphin, Sweden, Fake Spike 94, Jazz 803, Luke Sparkman, D Ray 91, the homie Tilly Flips, Marcus 84, Ty Rhodes, Florida born, Kentucky grown, SC 42, Corn 72, Trap RNG Media, Michael Myers, Tony Asawa, Brad, Cody Patron, The Show, Chef Jude, Jonesy Fins Nation, Kevin Williams, El Reezy 941, Rhonda, Philippe Leduc, Zachary Harris, Dennis Klassen, Powerhouse, Cap for Life, Daniel Gallegos, Ramon Casillas, Fred Rivera, Thunder Cleus, Jeremy Clump, just the homie Clump, Justo, Birdman, William Bolesky, Cody Graham, 100, Auntie, and the latest Ryan Bathgate. Appreciate each and every one of you for holding me down and supporting the channel. Love all of y'all, man. Appreciate all of y'all. Again, patchvibes.com. Use code FINSIDE to save 20% off of your order. Again, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't and you're new here. Yeah, exactly. Ronnie says, what happened to that boy? Exactly. You already know what it is. All right, we got 160 in the room. I'm gonna give it about another 10 minutes or so. Until then, I got a couple topics that I do want to cover before we get in to the big board. All right. So let's cover a few of those. All right. So number one, just an update for everyone, because he's obviously on the board. So let's update y'all to what's going on. Two medical reports for top prospects after a visit to Indy. Najee Harris' ankle did check out well with no concerns and shouldn't affect his stock, sources say. And Devonta Smith's dislocated finger with torn ligaments is healing fine with no issues ahead. I haven't seen an update on Jalen Waddle yet, so I'll keep y'all posted if anything comes across the wire in terms of Jalen Waddle. Now, what's going on? There was a little bit of an update of how COVID's going to be impacting the offseason program in the NFL this year. So I thought some of y'all might actually care, so I'll go over it quickly. So basically, the summary of the offseason program, it's going to be 9 weeks in length. It's going to be voluntary except for one mini camp, and that mini camp begins in the beginning of June, I believe. So the first phase is 4 weeks, April 19th to May 14th. There's going to be virtual meetings, 2 hours per day at club's discretion. I think it meant there. No on-field drills or work with coaches. Facility and weight room capacity limits remain in place. Clubs will make every effort to have the vaccine available for players, staff, and families during the first phase of the program. The second phase, it's going to be virtual meetings, on-field drills with coaches per CBA rules, meaning there's no contact or teaching pace. And that's from May 17th to May 21st. And then the third phase is May 24th to June 18th, traditional OTAs, which will last about 10 days, full speed, but no contact, in-person virtual meetings. And that includes a mandatory mini camp. And then payment per CBA and individual players' contracts, players' eligibility for bonus payment determined by terms of player contract, the COVID protocols as negotiated with the NFLPA with the following enhancements: daily testing with the MESA test, staff vaccination protocols, other regular season protocols will be in place like distancing, masks, etc. And there is no change in rookie football developmental program or post-rookie mini camp. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the Buffalo Bills will be allowing fans to attend. It's basically going to be back to almost full attendance, which is crazy, but it's going to be basically back to full attendance almost, and you have to be vaccinated. If you are not vaccinated, they will not let you in. Yo, Martin, check out your Patreon if you haven't. You will have to be vaccinated. No vaccination means no entry. So that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. All right. And then shout out to the homie Cali girl, Tyler. She sent me over this little image today and I wanted to share with y'all. And it's basically about why Tua is underrated. So I wanted to share this with y'all. So it basically says here why Tua is underrated. Tua played with below average weapons and still had a good rookie season. To many people, they say they need to move on because they compare him to Justin Herbert, who had the best rookie QB season ever. Tua had a good season considering the help around him. So, out of his throws, he had a catchable ball percentage of 80.3. That means 80.3 of the throws he made percentage were catchable. The problem was the wide receiver target separation was 3.05%. It was terrible. His accuracy rating was 7.9 out of 10. His pressured completion percentage. When he was pressured, he had a completion percentage of 43.2. But his true adjusted completion percentage, once you add in the drops, et cetera, jumps all the way up to about 71%. And he dealt with 23 drops. He was sacked 20 times in 9 starts. So if he would have played a full season, he would have had over 30 sacks against. So it says, give him time to develop. People in the sports world telling the Dolphins to move on are flat out wrong. He didn't have Herbert's rookie season, but he still has loads of potential that is untapped. And I mean, this basically goes over what we've been trying to be saying. Just be patient with the process, understand what was hindering the kid, not just physically, but what was actually around him, even down to the coaching staff. So, it is what it is, man. Just a little image for y'all right in front of y'all face to see, the guy catchable percentage of 80.3. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? That means 19.7% of his throws weren't catchable. And so not even a fifth of his throws. So, and the drops, 23 drops, like that's That's crazy. That is not good. And you can see why the team is so adamant in upgrading the weapons. And I believe I saw somewhere today that Cam Wolf said if Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts are on the board, that the Miami Dolphins would take Jamar Chase. So take that with how you will. I don't know how true that is. I personally wouldn't, but hey, I'm not in the front office right now. So appreciate you, Marcus. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Matt says wild idea letting a rookie quarterback play more than 9 games. Yeah, I agree, 110%. So, and Justin's right. Herbert has a true number one. Even his number two, Mike Williams, legit. You know what I mean? So, and Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler was hurt a little bit, but I'll take Austin Eckler every day and twice on Sundays, specifically on Sundays, over a guy like Myles Gaskin. You'd be lying to yourself if you say you wouldn't. All right. And then we're going to give it about another 5 minutes or so before we drop the big board for everyone. But before we do, there's just Barry Jackson, because we're on the topic of running backs today. Barry Jackson dropped an article regarding running backs and the draft. So I wanted to share that with you. And then after I share that with you, we'll go ahead and we'll go get into my big board, because he says the Dolphins have running back options if they miss out on the top 3. So when the NFL draft begins April 29th, the Miami Dolphins ideally will avoid a repeat of last year's nightmare scenario when all the top backs, DeAndre Swift, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor, J.K. Dobbins, came off the board without the Dolphins landing any of them. The equivalent this season, if Alabama's Najee Harris, Clemson's Travis Etienne, and North Carolina's Javonte Williams are all selected before they grab one. If the scenario happens, the Dolphins likely would select a running back at some point in the draft and have that player compete with Myles Gaskin, Salvon Ahmed, and former Rams backup Malcolm Brown for the starting job and number 2 jobs, with Patrick Laird and Jordan Scarlett competing for a roster spot. Examining the draft's top backs after Harris, he goes in and he gives a little bit about Trey Sermon. He talks about Michael Carter. So, and he says that Daniel Jeremiah says there's another guy who might go in the 3rd round. He talks about how UNC coach Mac Brown said Carter and Williams are guaranteed to have NFL careers. That's a big guarantee. But if you go from Zerline from NFL.com, he thinks Carter is going to be a career committee guy, which, I mean, I called him a souped-up version of Myles Gaskin, so you know what I mean? Chuba Hubbard, a guy who really fell, man. You know what I mean? He had some of the best tape out of this class when you talk about 2019, but this year was not that good at all. He goes on to also talk about Demetric Felton and how the Dolphins coaching staff gave him reps at receiver in the Senior Bowl, and he could be a multi-purpose weapon with the ability to play both running back or receiver. And they talk about how Daniel Jeremiah says that's another guy in round 3, round 4. There's words that Felton might be targeted to make a full-time transition to receiver position. Felton's Senior Bowl week showed off improved route running and an ability to compete against press. He goes on. He talks about Kenneth Gainwell here, but not very much. So yeah, they're just kind of going over a couple of the names that I'll talk about today. But it says, bottom line, if the Dolphins want to find a clear-cut bell cow in this draft, the chances drop significantly if they bypass Harris, Etienne, or Williams. The odds suggest there will be another back in the draft who emerges as a quality starter, but the likelihood decreases after the top 3 come off the board. If any of the top 3 are available at 36, the question is whether the Dolphins are willing to risk waiting to see if any are available at 50. It's the risk the Dolphins essentially took in 2020, and they gambled and lost. And, I mean, he's right to an extent. I still believe there's guys, I don't think those are the only 3 clear-cut, you got to get them or it's over with. I don't believe that at all. But, Nico brings it up. James Robinson was undrafted, right? So, I mean, hey, Martin says, Hubbard had a rough 2020. 2019 was elite potential, though. I would try to get that out of him. Yeah, another thing you got to ask about Chuba Hubbard is there's a lot of wear and tear on those tires. So how much does he have left on him? You know what I mean? So Eric says can Williams handle a load? Didn't he split carries? Not as much, but he can handle the load, bro. If you look at the way he's built, the only thing with Javonte Williams, and I'll talk about it, is how violent he runs. You know what I mean? That could be the potential issue. But anyways, we're at about to hit the 22-minute mark. So with that said, let me get prepped here. Jonathan, yes, Gainwell is good value at 81, but I don't think he's going to be there. All right, let's hop into my big board. Let's break it down. Yeah, I know, Rome. He thinks it's only 3 because he doesn't know. Yeah. I don't know about respecting Armando's opinion more than him, but all right. So let's do this. I want to hop into this big board, break it all down for y'all. So let's do this right now. Right. All right, guys. Y'all ready? I think 11 through 15 are going to shock some people. But let's roll into it. And I got a couple Patreons. I'm going to answer your questions, all right? Just because, you basically help fund what we're doing here. So, I believe it's Cody and my team Dolphin. I'm going to answer your questions because I know you had some regarding my selections here. So let's hop into it. All right. So, as you can see in front of you at number 15, I have Jared Patterson out of Buffalo. Now I was asked today, well, more of a comment of, dang, I thought, you would have Jared Patterson higher. And, the only reason I don't have Jared Patterson higher is, I don't think he has the physical profile to be anything more than a committee back at the next level. I just don't. His agility is okay, but if you look at his long speed is really, really lacking in my opinion. So I don't know how much he's worth investing in terms of, if you're bringing this guy in as your number one guy. So that's where I'm at with Jared Patterson. I like him. I don't love him. And I think his footwork can improve as well. The other guy on this I was asked about, so number 14, Khalil Herbert. I don't know why my guy left the R out of his name, but he left the R out. So Khalil Herbert, he was supposed to be higher. He was going to be higher, but I dropped him down. It is what it is. My issue with Khalil Herbert is I don't think he's the most durable guy in the world. I don't think he's a very good pass catcher, and he's just not explosive to where he's going to make something out of nothing. That's just not his game. And then at 13, as you can see, I have Javian Hawkins from Louisville. Number 12, Rakeem Boyd. I really like him. I think he's a little bit of a sleeper. People are and yes, you are right, Jonathan. Herbert is old. That's another thing, his age, right? He's he's technically a graduate. He's not even a senior. Rakeem Boyd, he's a good player, man. And then Demetric Felton. Now I know there's talk he might go to wide receiver, but I think he's a pretty good running back, and his ability, to now run routes, how sharp he's become at running routes, I gotta give him credits, man. I got to give him credit for that. So I do like Demetric Felton out of UCLA, and I know we were running him as a receiver in the Senior Bowl, but hey, I think this guy it could be a decent contributor if he's kept at running back. So let's get into the top 10 here. So number 10, as you can see, I have Chuba Hubbard. And his 2019 tape is why he's here. It's super impressive as he dominated with 2,094 yards on 328 attempts. He averaged 6.4 yards per carry, 21 touchdowns, while also adding 198 yards on 23 receptions. He possesses good speed, burst, and acceleration for a man that's 210 pounds, as he posted a 4.48 originally reported as a 4.36 at his pro day. He never stops churning his legs and lives off of yards off of contact. Strong player on the field, will bounce off of defenders or use a stiff arm to send them to the ground. So his 20 bench reps wasn't overly surprising because his strength does pop on tape a little. He's a monster at the second level where he can either outmuscle defenders or use his ability to move laterally and change directions on a dime to make defenders miss. He plays well in traffic and can make himself skinny to get through small holes. Pretty patient runner who will allow holes to develop and then burst through them as his vision matches the patience he has. He's really agile for guy size too. He can spin or juke a defender out of their shoes. He's not very good in pass pro. The effort is there, but oddly, he doesn't translate his strength well in this area. He has serious ball security issues as well. He needs to clean up. He's also not the most dependable pass catcher in the world. Again, the effort is there, like with blocking, but he hasn't put it all together. At number 9, I got Martin's boy, Elijah Mitchell here. He's outstanding athlete. He posted a 4.3840, a 37.5 vert, a 6.943 cone, and almost an 11-foot broad jump at 10.8. And it shows up on film constantly with his play speed, explosiveness, lateral movement, and ability to change direction with ease and on a whim. His contact balance is crazy, pinballing off of defenders and hard to take down on the first attempt as he absolutely ate off of yards off contact. Ideal size for running back at 5'10 and 215, which makes his pro day numbers even more impressive given his weight. This decently elusive can make defenders miss with his solid cutback ability and the jukes he uses. He's such a patient runner with great vision. He will allow guys in front of him to win their battles in open holes, then he hits it hard and fast. Rarely caught behind the line of scrimmage. Is a positive gain runner, which you like to see, obviously. Though his passing game usage isn't a lot, he has shown that he has sticky hands and can make things happen when he's targeted. Good ball security, tucks the ball away from defenders well. Isn't consistent or solid in pass pro, in my opinion, and he has durability concerns as he had 2 injuries in 2016 and 2017 dating back to high school and missed some of his game against Iowa State after he got absolutely rocked. Number 8, a guy I really like, Kylan Hill. He has good speed, really good burst and acceleration while running aggressive and welcoming any and all oncoming contact. Has excellent vision and awareness. He knows where the holes are going to be before they're even formed. Can get tough short yards as he always keeps his legs churning and is powerful in the lower half, allowing him to break through defenders' attempt to get low and wrap. Has great hands and has shown he can be really effective in the passing game when called upon as a route runner beyond the line of scrimmage. Reliable in pass pro too as he squares up defenders well, uses his hands with good placement, and he finishes off his blocks. He's scheme versatile. He's a north-south enough for a power gap or can move laterally east to west for his own scheme. One of the best ball securers in this draft, and he hasn't fumbled a single time in college. Has great quick feet that show off in his cutbacks, jump cuts, jukes, and all that stuff. He tends to mope a bit, though, when he's not involved, and you can see it in his body language on the field. So I'm not a huge fan of that. He needs to run lower. He opens himself up to big hits because he keeps his pad level high, which may not end well at the next level because guys are going to be hitting him harder. Because of his overly aggressive running style, he may face durability concerns, and his long speed does leave you wanting a little bit more. Number 7, Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson is a big back. He's 6'2", 227, and it shows up as he's an absolute hassle for defenders to try and take down in open space. Rarely had negative plays as he takes what the defense gives him, and he doesn't try to do too much, which I absolutely love. Has better short area burst than long speed, and it shows as he hits open holes and gets to the second level almost automatically, but he isn't going to run away from a team. Quick with great footwork, whether in open space or in the backfield, being patient for a hole to open. Patient runner with good vision and awareness, loves contact, plays through it with his good contact balance, keeps his legs turning to fight for every extra yard. When defenders try to bring him down, he keeps his pad low, and he doesn't get caught running high. High effort and pass pro. He, again, squares defenders up well, understands hand placement and uses them very well, has a nasty stiff arm that he displayed a lot. It takes defenders' heads off or throws them to the ground with ease. He's not really a reliable or dependable receiver out of the backfield, and his long speed is a little bit questionable. He's not the most agile guy. Change of direction ability is just okay, and he does have character concerns with a failed drug test. The next one, number 6 on my board, is Trey Sermon. At just over 6 feet tall, 215 pounds, Trey Sermon is explosive and has great burst and acceleration, as highlighted by his 1.49 second 10-yard split. Some of the best contact balance in this class is possessed by Trey Sermon. So hard to take down. Initial contact doesn't faze him, and sometimes gang tackling is the only answer to bring him down. So patient in waiting for his line to win trench battles, blended with great vision as Sermon sees holes well before they develop and hits them the instant daylight does present itself, which I absolutely love. He drives his legs well through contact. He always fights for that extra yard, and he has a motor that, guys, his motor never, ever, ever lets up. And he's quite agile for a guy his size. He has great change of direction ability, and he moves lateral really, really well in space. I was really impressed by that. It's quite elusive for a man his size, utilizes the jukes, jump cuts, and cutbacks fairly well, has shown off decent pass catching ability, but really excels with ball security, as he only had 2 fumbles in his whole college career. He's a pretty damn good pass blocker, too. People sleep on it. Has good pop in his hands to take on oncoming defenders and squares up to them very, very well. Doesn't have the most desirable long speed, and his 4.61 40 wasn't really that surprising because you kind of see it on tape when he starts to break away. He can get caught running too high at times, even in short yardage situation, so he needs to work on being more consistent with lowering his pads, and he hasn't shown a ton in regards to making big plays after the catch when he was used in passing situations. Then again, if you go back to how he was used by Ohio State, they didn't give him a lot of usage in pass catching situations. But hey, I'm a Trey Sermon fan, so that's he's a good player, man. Everyone sleeps on him a little bit, but I'm here to tell y'all Trey Sermon is pretty good, and Ramondre Stevenson is good, and those guys fit kind of the profile they're looking for with that bigger back a little bit. I love Kylan Hill. I would be okay with any of these guys. There's even guys in the in 11 through 15 I'd be okay with them rolling the dice on. But yeah, I think it's a pretty decent class once you get. It's just it's a clear fall off once you get outside the top 5. Well, hell, once you get outside the top 4, I think it's a little bit of a fall off, but it is what it is. This is what drafts are about, being able to identify guys and make it work. So it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds in terms of where these guys land, because there could be a run on running backs early on. And if that happens, some of these guys might get propped up higher than some of you guys think where they might go. So number 5 is Michael Carter for me. He's one of the biggest bright spots from the Senior Bowl that Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins coaching staff had under them. Michael Carter jumped onto many Dolphin fans' radars because of it. I've been quoted as calling Carter a souped-up version of Myles Gaskin. I stand by that. The first thing that pops out when you watch Carter is how strong of a runner he is, with the ability to turn any play into a home run. Just ask any Miami Hurricane fan. His patience and vision is really good too. As soon as he sees a hole, he hits it and kicks it into second gear. He is hands down one of, if not the best, one-cut runner in this draft. His burst explosiveness constantly shows up as well. He protects the rock very well, as he's had no fumbles during his last season at North Carolina and only 4 during his whole collegiate career. His ability is highlighted by the great lateral movement and ability to change direction before a defender even knows what he's about to do. His contact balance is damn near elite. He's able to stay upwards after initial contact constantly and keeps driving his legs. He's really hard to knock down, which is impressive given as he has a really good center of gravity that's low at 5'8". His football aptitude is through the roof as well, as you can literally watch him bait defenders into taking poor angles against them. Carter also shows the ability to make defenders miss with a juke or a muscle through tackle attempts with a really strong stiff arm that leaves defenders down on the gridiron. Carter displays really good knack for running routes, as North Carolina even put him out wide, and he has soft hands like a true receiver to go along with that, making him a pretty dangerous threat in the passing game. When called upon to block in pass pro, Carter has not only shown the willingness to get right in there, but he's also probably one of the best pass blockers in this draft. His only issue with blocking is diagnosing blitzes and where they're coming from, and although his effort is super high, sometimes his size is his downfall, as he's not the strongest back on the block. Carter's size also hinders his ability to be relied upon in short yardage situations, as you're probably going to need a true third down back a la Malcolm Brown on the roster if you draft a guy like Carter. Although he can hit the home run play, his breakaway speed isn't the greatest, and he isn't going to outrun defenders consistently. I also tend to think he would be more successful in a zone running scheme than a power gap scheme, and it seems why I mention that is because it seems we're going with a power gap scheme moving forward. So, he doesn't have a ton of red flags or concerns, and his breakaway speed is very good. Overall, I would be happy with this selection, but I do not think he is in the tier of the top 4 guys. I think he's just out of it. But this guy is going to be a contributor at the next level. There's no doubt about it for me when I look at him on tape. I have no doubt whatsoever about whether he can contribute. So Kenneth Gainwell, my man crush at this position of this draft, and if he had tape this year, he may even be higher on this list, as I think Gainwell has all the tools to be a very special player at the next level, and Dolphin fans infatuated with Harris, Williams, or Etienne would be lucky to have a guy like this suit up in the aqua and orange. Gainwell's 4'4", 240 at his pro day shows up on tape as he moves quicker than a hiccup and is normally gone once he gets to open space, showing time and time again that he's hard for defenders to catch up with due to his explosiveness, acceleration, and long speed. He's a patient runner, but will go towards that hole that he's supposed to, knowing when to turn on the burners as that hole opens, getting to the second level almost instantly. He's hard to bring down between the tackles, always lowering his shoulder to keep fighting through the contact, and he doesn't have a ton of tape, but he's shown he doesn't shy away from it the slightest when we're talking about contact. Has instant home run ability. As soon as he gets the ball, he's liable to take it all the way. Super agile, moves laterally very well, and his speed doesn't dip when he makes his cuts. Gainwell isn't going to pull out a lot of stiff arms and muscle guys to the ground, but he instead uses his speed and ability to change direction to make tacklers miss, and has shown that he can break through low tacklers pretty easily. His contact balance is fantastic. Initial contact doesn't phase him or throw him off of staying upright. Absorbing contact through this has been a few times that he has actually tripped over when it looks like he's moving too fast for even himself, or dances himself out of his own shoes with a juke, but it's nothing glaring. As a pass catcher, Gainwell may be the best in this class. He was a beast out of the slot. He has some of the softest hands for a running back I've seen, and he can run routes with the best of them. Sharp breaks in and out of his routes, sinking at the top of them, and shows consistently on tape that he's a deadly, versatile weapon out of the backfield because of this. Due to the receiving ability, I see him as a legit 3-down option at the next level, and honestly, one of the most complete backs in this draft. The only questions I have about Gainwell is, can he improve as a pass blocker at the next level? Because that's one of the areas he's lacking in as well. And can he handle a full-time workload of 200 plus carries? I think he can for both, but it'll be interesting to see how he develops in those two areas, which I could only identify as his weaknesses while nitpicking, because the effort with pass blocking is definitely there. It's just a matter if you can bring it all together. This guy has so many tools in the box. It's ridiculous. I think Kenny Gainwell is going to be special at the next level. I really do. I think this guy is just an absolute stud, man. And look at the angles he understood there, right there. So number 3, Travis Etienne. Etienne seems to be a favorite of this coaching staff in Miami. If you date back to last year, pre-draft, before he decided to return to Clemson for another season. Even this year, Eric Studesville ran the running back drills that Etienne participated in during his pro day. The first thing that jumps off the screen at you is Etienne's elite speed, explosiveness, and burst. I truly believe if he didn't gain the 10 pounds he did before the pro day to weigh in at 215 and showed up at his 205 playing weight, he would have ran in the 4.3s for his pro day, but instead he ran a 4.4, which is still impressive. He has quick feet, explodes out of the jump cuts, and kills defenses once he gets to the second level, as he's an absolute nightmare for linebackers to handle when he's one-on-one with them. His agility is top-notch. Once he bounces outside, he can really tear it up. He breaks tackles at a very high rate, as he can be slippery, elusive, or outwit defenders on their pursuit angles to make them miss. He's a definition of a home run hitter. You don't want Travis Etienne getting into open space against your defense, or good luck to you and your defenders. His acceleration is just as impressive as his speed, as he can go from 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye and shifts into that second gear without a moment of hesitation. His contact balance, guys, is very good, as he can bounce off defenders, shed tackle attempts, and even spin out of tackles, but not lose a single step in terms of speed while he does it. He had 822 yards after contact last season, which should show you just how effective his balance is, as it was the 5th most yardage after contact in the nation. As a pass catcher, he's steadily improved every year. If you go back only a few years ago, he looked uncomfortable coming out of the backfield in passing situations, even dropping catches due to a lack of mental focus. But that isn't the case anymore. Yet, he needs to get better at not catching with his body. For as fast as he is, at Etienne's lateral movement is average compared to his speed, burst, and acceleration, as he's more of a one-cut runner than making multiple cuts. His patience and footwork at the line of scrimmage needs to improve, as sometimes he moves faster than the pulling guard or the pulling tackle or the pulling center, or instead of letting the holes fully develop, he'll bounce it outside to try and make too much happen, which usually happens with fast runners. He also has some ball security issues that he needs to iron out, as he had 4 fumbles alone this past season. Another question I have is if he can be a true bell cow or not, but the tools are there to be special at the next level, because he's only carried the rock 20 plus times, 2 or 3 times in his career, so not very many. But the guy is the guy is a fantastic back. There's no denying it. So, and he would be, because of his ability as a pass catcher and how much better he's got each year, I think he would be a pretty good fit. I just do wonder if you're going to use him in a power gap or if he's more of a zone guy. But I was very pleased with him. The one thing I did know, he didn't have a lot of long breakaway touchdowns. That's just not his game, but he fights, man. And he fights hard. So I respect his game. I like Travis Etienne. I really do. I think at the next level, he's going to be a solid contributor. I think all 4 of these guys are going to be. So I've told y'all he reminds me of Alvin Kamara when I watch him on tape. So big fan. Number 2, Javonte Williams. He's as violent as a runner as you'll see. Williams wakes up every morning, hits the gridiron, and chooses violence over flash. This makes him stand out of the pack of running backs in this draft. And if not for my thought process of Najee being literally the perfect scheme fit to what the Dolphins want to run, I'd probably have Williams as my top guy on this board. Don't let the baby blue threads fool you. He's a killer, and it shows up almost immediately when you put on his tape. In fact, I think Hurricane fans still have nightmares about him. He may not be the fastest guy, as he posted a 4.55 40, but his burst is as elite as it gets. Mixed in with the fact that he has some of the best change of direction ability in this class as well, Williams is one of, if not the most rounded out runner in this class. His explosiveness makes your eyes bulge out of their sockets, and he gets out of bed and breaks tackles before he brushes his teeth. He led the nation last year with 75 broken tackles. His vision and patience are elite too. He allows his blockers to win their battles in the trenches, then follows the blocks and can fit through the narrowest of holes, but does it with such ease that you think Moses just parted the Red Sea. He always keeps his legs driving and gets to the second level so easily. He is built like a stallion in his lower half and trucks through would-be tacklers, and with his elite contact balance, it doesn't even look like he was touched when he gets through the tackle attempt, as he finished higher than Etienne in terms of yards after contact with 831, which had him fourth best in the nation. He may not juke you out of your cleats, but he'll run right through you, and he'll go right to the end zone and make you cry for your mama. Always fights for the extra yard, never lets up, and always has a high level of effort to go along with a high level of intensity that he plays at. Is a reliable and dependable pass catcher, catching as many passes this year as he had his whole career due to increased usage, which was 25. What's so impressive is how North Carolina increased his overall usage and responsibilities this year, and he responded by putting out some of the most, if not the most impressive tape of this whole class for 2020. Williams needs to improve in pass pro, but the strength and effort is already there. I'd say he can protect the rock a bit better, and obviously seen by his 40, his breakaway speed isn't elite, and this is evident on film at times. Overall, though, Javonte Williams is a very special back, and I don't see any reason why he can't be very, very successful at the next level. And I love this kid, man. You know, I fell in love with this kid watching Sam Howell because everyone knows I'm a huge Sam Howell fan. And this guy is he is elite, man. I absolutely love how violent he runs. Like, he will look at how he just runs through you. He does not care who you are, who you know, and what the name on the back of your jersey is. He is just a special, special kid, man. I would absolutely love having this kid in the aqua and orange. I think he's just so, so special, man. Like, geez, I absolutely love watching him. He had some of the funnest tape to watch, man. He just, when he lowers his shoulder, like world's end when he lowers his shoulder. It's just, it's crazy, man. Just super impressed with this kid. And I think he's going to be very special at the next level. No doubt in my mind. Najee Harris, a favorite and desire of many Miami Dolphin fans this draft. Najee Harris is not only a perfect scheme fit, but his familiarity with Tua Tagovailoa will help the Dolphins franchise quarterback be even more comfortable behind center, which is huge. Listed at 6'2" and 230 pounds, which wasn't able to be confirmed due to Najee not participating in his pro day, the way he moves is almost freakish, as his ability to move laterally, move in and out of his breaks on routes, and cuts while running is truly something to behold. He's so explosive, as on tape, he hurls lunging defenders with ease without losing an ounce of speed when his feet land back down on the field. He has elite vision and patience, allowing his blockers to do their thing, opening running lanes that he gashes through at full tilt. His change of direction ability, too, is very impressive for someone his size. He can stop on a dime and then kick in an overdrive immediately after causing defenders to miss. He's strong as an ox. He'll either break right through contact like a bull in a china shop or drag defenders with him as he fights for the extra yardage, as he's always falling forwards, never backwards, and his yards after contact prove that, as Harris finished third in the nation with yards after contact, gaining a whopping 962 yards after contact last year. He's tall for a running back at 6'2", but gets low enough with his pads to have a good center of gravity, causing him to be extremely hard to knock off balance. He's so elusive, too, as his stutter step ability is one of the key factors to him finishing second in the nation with 69 missed tackles forced. I wish we had a 40 time, as his acceleration is really good and his long speed looks to be pretty good, too. His hands are like cinder blocks when he stiff arms an opponent, displaying a ton of upper body strength to match his lower half, which is as powerful as any back I've seen coming out in recent years. Najee is a formidable opponent as a pass catcher for defenders, as he not only displays his hands softer than a roll of Charmin, but he is a very, very good route runner. Harris is also incredibly careful with the rock. He only had one fumble in his collegiate career. Now, Najee doesn't have very many weaknesses. He's improved each year as a pass blocker, but he's not quite there yet, but he will be, especially in reading and diagnosing oncoming blitzes. He needs to improve at. His workload at Alabama is also a double-edged sword. He proved he's the most sure thing if you're looking for a bell cow back in this draft, but it comes at the cost of wear and tear on his body and a lot of tread being used up on those tires. Honestly, though, Najee Harris is the perfect weapon out of the backfield for the Miami Dolphins, especially considering how versatile he is in being used in either zone or power gap concepts, which he was used in both. The question is, will the Miami Dolphins take Najee Harris at 18 or wait to see what they can get in the second round and beyond? I think that's what we're all waiting to see. So he's a absolute beast, man. I mean, I just don't. He's just such a perfect scheme fit. I mean, the guy just finishes, and his vision and his patience is just so elite. So I mean, there's not enough good things I could say to him. I'd be happy with either him or Javonte Williams being the pick. I think they're both going to be absolute studs in the NFL. I know people are a little bit weary of his age, but hey, you get that 5th-year option. Guess what you do? You send him packing after year 5. If you want to franchise tag him for one more year, you let him go when he's right on the cusp of 30, and then you move off. But Najee is legit, people. He is he's definitely not getting out of the first round, and I don't think Javonte Williams is either. I truly believe that. And Etienne might not even. It all depends on what happens early on, right? So, will the Miami Dolphins play that game of arrogance where they believe they can get anyone in the second round? That's what, it's all going to come down to not only how they value them, how these players, but if they're willing to take that gamble. And if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I might trade back up into the first just to lock in one of those guys. That's, the more and more I sit there and think about it, I don't believe they're going to take one of these guys at 18. I really don't. Would I be mad if they took Javonte Williams or Najee Harris at 18? No. But I just don't think they're going to do that. So, Jonathan asks, do I like this running back class more? I like the depth of last year's class more. But in terms of the top 4 guys in this draft, I like the top 4 guys in this draft. Well, it's hard, man, because Jonathan Taylor, I would definitely have him up there in this. I would probably have him at 3. I think Javonte and Najee are going to be better than Jonathan Taylor. And y'all know how high I was on Jonathan Taylor. My just thing with a guy like Najee is how long, right? Like, are we going to see him play up to 29, 30 and then he starts to fall off? Like, is he going to get paid on a second contract? Or is the wear and tear going to be stacked up? You know what I mean? I think Javonte has a little bit of a longer shelf life than Najee Harris, but it all depends. If you're in win now mode and if your window is the next 5 years, why would you pass up on Najee Harris? So, but like I said, I like last year's draft in terms of the depth. I thought last year's draft was deeper once you got outside, the top 4 guys in terms of talent wise. I think this year is pretty top heavy because once you get after Michael Carter, and even Michael Carter starts at the top of the tier, you get into more guys that I feel will be mid-tier contributors in the NFL, right? I don't know if there's that special guy that jumps out to me. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be a Ramondre Stevenson. It could be a Kylan Hill has that ability. He looks like he might, be a steal wherever he's taken. Khalil Herbert, even though I had him at 14, I still really love the kid, man. I originally had him in the top 10, but, I started bumping him down. I just started playing with my board a little bit. He was originally at like dead on 10, I think, for me. I really like Rakeem Boyd. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Not a lot of people paid attention to Rakeem Boyd because he went to Arkansas, but I really like that kid. And I think Javian Hawkins, he's going to be pretty good too. My just thing is, I don't think. Basically, what best I can say to you is, stop looking at these mock simulators. I see people saying, "Oh, I think this guy is going to be there at 50. Oh, I think this guy is going to be there at 36," all because your mock simulator tells you so. Dude, like I told you on the show yesterday, there is rumors right now about and afloat that the Jaguars are considering taking Travis Etienne. Right? The Jaguars pick before us at 36 twice. They pick at 25, and then they pick at the top of the second round. And if they pair him with James Robinson, they got a duo there. Because remember, because of the UDFA contract, they only have James Robinson for another 2 seasons, right? It's a 3-year deal. It's not a 4-year deal like when you draft a guy, or a 4-year and 5th option if you take him in the first. So, there's talk, but they want to make Trevor Lawrence as comfortable as possible. So I'm just saying, like Martin said, they pick at 33. They could snatch Etienne at 33. I'm standing by it. I do not think, because I think talent-wise, the tackle class is drafter. The Steelers might wait. And I think Najee Harris makes a lot of sense, because one final shot with Ben Roethlisberger, see if we can do it. And who's their running back right now? Anthony McFarland Jr.? Come on. And then you got McDermott. I showed you guys yesterday. Spot Track has Devin Singletary right now as a potential trade candidate. And Sean McDermott told everyone after their loss that they were going to upgrade the running back position, because really on the offense, that's all they're missing. So if the Jaguars rumor is true and they take Etienne at 33, Javonte Williams and Najee will be gone within the 20s. So, you got to look at a team like the Jets too. They're a possibility. What, you think they're going to write out LaMichael Pirine? I don't think so. So, there's possibilities in the 20, because it's more acceptable to take that running back in the 20s. So I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if we got to move up from 36. I do not think you might be at a point where Gainwell's the top guy when you come around at 36. Everyone, I tell you, get off that mock simulator mindset. Okay? Draft night never goes how mocks go. Let me put it that way, okay? All right? So, and, the Cardinals even came out after they signed James Cardinal. The media came out and said, from what they're hearing with the Cardinals, just because they signed James Conner does not mean they're not going to be taking a running back. So, you know what I mean? You got to be weary of this stuff. I'm just saying, if you play with fire, you're going to get burned. And if I was them, if you want a running back with that 36th pick, just move up. Why not? Make sure you get that. Go get your guys. Be aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, the 36th pick, man, like, come on. Just move up from it. Don't sit around on your hands and let the board decide and settle for you what your next pick's going to be. That's how we ended up with Austin Jackson. That's how they ended up missing out on Cesar Ruiz at 26 and traded back and took Noah Igbenogany. I'm just saying, the time to be aggressive is now, because we're closer than where we were last year. Go get your guys. So, and I honestly think, I patted myself, Barry Horowitz, pat on the back for my mock yesterday. I think my mock was super realistic. Now, things are going to change come my 2.0 version. And there's going to be guys who I was torn between taking. I might take them in that, so it'll switch up the board a little bit. And tomorrow night, exactly, Florida born. I've been saying this since I was on TD Finstock. Scared money don't make no money. That's it. That's it. You got to live by that motto, man. And tomorrow night I'll be back here with Neil Driscoll. And we'll be going live around 9:15, guys, because I got to record the finish line first. We'll be going live around 9:15, and we'll be doing a dueling mock draft. He's going to take the odd numbers. I'll take the even numbers. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. I'm super interested to see how that pans out. It's going to be an interesting night tomorrow. But man, I hope y'all like that big board, man. A lot of work went into that. When putting together those videos, like clipping up plays, it takes about 4 or 5 hours just to put together the actual video portion. And when you talk about writing, that document I read to you guys that I hand wrote, that was 3,642 words. So that's another couple hours of my time. That's about 3 hours, 4 hours of my time. So these videos take about 7 to 8 hours to put together, man. So I hope y'all appreciate the effort I'm putting out. And I do it because, the Patreons, the members, you guys, some of y'all pay to watch me. So that's why I put this kind of effort in. But, these videos are about 7 or 8 hours, and I'll say this, weapon positions are easier to do. Okay. So, next week I'll be coming with my center big board because that's obviously a strong need, and I'm going to be posting in the community this week. I'll be posting a poll, and I'm going to give you guys the option to vote on what the 5th big board is going to be. Either going to be tackle, safety. We're clearly in the market for a corner if you look at the prospects we've interviewed. So those are the 3 options I'll be putting up that you guys can, take a look at and vote on. So guys, I will be back tomorrow night at 9:15. And until then, you already know what time it is, baby. It's Fins Up all day, every day. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you like the video, guys, smash the like button. There's 266 of you in the room. Smash that like button. I know some of y'all are haters sitting there watching me because I live rent-free in your head. But for y'all that show love, go ahead and smash that like button, man. These videos, I put a lot of work into them. So just show me some love with them. That's all. Smash that like button. It doesn't take much work. Appreciate each and every one of you. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Maybe some of y'all will go back and watch. Hope y'all like the all 22 I attach. Man, I do it like no other. Y'all already know what it is, baby. For the best draft coverage in the Dolphins community, it's found right here at Finside the NFL. Quick plug, draft night 1, because I got some news. Night 1, me, Jeremy Klump, Ryan Roberts from Rise and Draft, formerly the Draft Bible, will be here. Kevin Dern will be here. Mr. Ball Game will be here. And we'll be breaking down and analyzing every pick as they happen for not just us, but every other team. And then night 2, baby, it's going to be your boy and Dante Collinelli going to be here providing analysts for every pick that's made. So even night 2, I'm stacking up some all-stars for you. I'm working on night 2. So, Dante Collinelli will be here. Y'all already know how I feel about that. That's my boy right there. So, guys, the best draft coverage in the Dolphins community on any platform is Finside the NFL, hands down. You know what it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day. Love each and every one of you. Stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the dueling mock draft with Neil Driscoll. And then Friday night, I'll be back with Rhino, Damian, and hopefully Martin. And we'll be doing an open show. We'll talk about a few things, and I'll open up to you. And Friday night will just be a purely open discussion show. Love each and every one of you. Have a good night, and I will see y'all right back here at 9:15 p.m. tomorrow. You already know what time it is. Fins up, baby.